Yo, you know what it is. Adisa the Bishop of Hip Hop. We chilling live and direct. I am based in sunny San Jose, California. Profo, where you at?
I'm in San Francisco, California.
It's hot,
Not
isn't
too
it hot?
far.
It's hot.
Oh, I love it though. I love it.
I ain't
I
mad.
love it.
Shout out to the East Coast people. You know what I'm saying? We chilling.
Yeah. Yeah.
And Flomaster in the building, and you are in.
Manhattan Beach, California,
Come
baby.
on, man. It's a West Side
Come on.
United. Is
Come
basically what we telling you.
on. But I'm from the East Coast. Don't
Yeah,
forget that.
Mr. DMV
Forget
right
that.
there.
Don't
Mr.
forget that.
DMV.
Never hating, never hating. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? Never hating.
Never that.
Well, shoot, man. Look, so we have a lot of fun stuff to talk about today, but we want to start with what's most important. Happy birthday, Flow Master. You know what
Yeah,
I'm
happy
saying?
birthday,
Let's,
bro.
Thank you.
you know what I'm saying?
Thank you.
How old are you and how do you feel?
Oh man, I am 53 years old. I feel good. I just wish I would have took care of my knees like I used to.
Mm,
But the knowledge that I know now, I wish I would have known it back then. But
Oh my
I
God.
guess I wouldn't have known the knowledge if I didn't go through it. So
My
actually,
joints are
and
about
that's
evaporated.
and
yeah.
actually that's who I'm following is Flo. Every his advice is like, okay, my whole thing is if his knees were good, what could he do? Because he could do more.
Right.
So I'm just like following, like, all right, if someone calls me out and I'm not feeling it, I ain't gonna go out. I'm not
Yeah.
gonna burn myself out for nobody. So I could continue to do this. You know what I'm
Ain't
saying?
It's
nobody
your
gonna
boy.
pay for your doctor bills, and ain't nobody gonna be there
Yeah.
talking about, "Are you okay? Can I give you some money?"
And ain't
Yep.
nobody gonna help you get up out that chair.
Nope. So I'm right there. I'm like, I'm following Flo's journey straight up. I'm a product of Flowmaster.
Well, yo, I want to thank you both for being on Bishop Chronicles. You know, my podcast is weird because I'm weird. You know what I mean? People don't know what the hell I'm doing. One day I'm talking about jujitsu and philosophy. The next day I'm talking about Tupac. The next day I'm talking about, you know what I'm saying? They're like, what the hell? And I'm just lucky that my journey made me cross so many different amazing paths and people. It's really, you know what I'm saying? So what I've really done is I've kind of I've kind of I got the podcast on Substack and I kind of split the stuff between hip hop and then philosophy and jujitsu stuff. And I think I'm doing a pretty good job of it. You know what I'm saying? But
Yeah.
like because I love hip hop and people don't really know me like that, they go like, "Oh, he interviewed Easy E," or "Oh, you know, he interviewed Tupac really early and whatever." But they don't really understand how much I love the DJ. They don't understand how much I love the B-boy. They don't understand how many graffiti writers I ran with and studied and covered just as much as I covered rappers. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And this was an honor for me to be able to do that. And so in this time, in this day, I wanted to talk with two of my favorite people in the space about a lot of different things around hip hop dance, specifically as it relates to martial arts.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Um,
Oh, yo. I know I want to like connect a few things real quick because
yes,
we start to talk about capoeira, right?
yes,
So Adiza knows me from taking capoeira from my man Kimball Master
yep,
Sultan, who
yep,
does Eskrima Serrata.
yep.
But the thing is, one of his instructors' name is Jamie. One of his like there
Right.
was Elric and Jamie.
Elric and
Jamie
Jamie.
was a b-boy, old
Mhm.
school b-boy in San Francisco. His student was Chaz. Chaz moved up to VA and was in Natural Elements, who's connected. You know Chaz, right? Flo?
Chaz, I
Yeah,
think I might know.
natural element from Natural Elements.
Elements, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we're connected. That's already we're a connection like in that sense.
Mhm.
Because
That's
Chaz is a
powerful.
student of Jamie, who's a
That's
student. I was a
powerful.
student in capoeira,
Mhm.
and
And
then the reason why I
Jamie,
started breaking was because I could do handstands and flips, and I saw flow, and I was like, because I was a freestyle hip hop dancer. Because here in the West Coast, it was mostly power moves, and it didn't really talk to
yeah,
me.
Yeah.
So when I
yeah.
saw flow, I was like, oh, you can actually dance, and that's what kind of started my
He
breaking
Oh
said you
journey.
can
wow.
actually dance.
I didn't know that. Okay.
Yeah.
That's
Oh
So there's
wow.
crazy.
already a connection. There's
Yeah.
already a
Yeah.
connection.
Yeah.
Shout out to Jamie LaPena, man, because
Yeah.
that dude, he's the reason I did jujitsu. He introduced me to
Mm.
Brazilian jiu-jitsu. There's no Brazilian jiu-jitsu in my life without him.
Wow.
Word.
His
See.
house, he had the old school Gracie in action 2 and 1, and he had um the original instructionals.
Oh,
And so this is pre UFC.
wow.
Yeah.
Pre UFC, you know what I'm saying? And so I didn't even know Ralph Gracie was in the Bay until he called me. He said, "Hey man, one of the Gracies moved down by you." I said, "Where?" He goes, "Mountain View." He goes, "There's only one thing," and I was like, "What?" He goes, "They said he's a lot meaner than Hoist, but I don't know." You know what I'm saying? And so I went.
That's
You know what
tight.
I mean? But so my black belt is a byproduct of that friendship. You know what I'm
That's
saying? And our friendship was rooted in hip
Yeah.
hop. And he was a
Yeah.
dancer even back then. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
He was the original B-boy from San Francisco. So
Um.
that's dope.
So I mean, it's so weird. Like sometimes because I've known you guys for so long, and I've been fans and friends with you for so long, it's hard for me to feel like I can give an adequate introduction. So will you each introduce yourself? That way I don't leave nothing out, and I don't want to like misspeak about something just because I admire y'all so much. You know what I'm saying? So Profo, tell him where you from and what you do, player.
Yo, I was born and raised in San Francisco, California. I represent Florida Gangs and Knuckleneck Tribe. I've been in the Bay Area dance scene for 35 years at this point. Started out as a freestyle hip hop dancer. Well, actually, I seen breaking in the 80s, right? I was like 7 or 8. My cousins were in a crew called Zero Gravity. And that was like 82, 83, and then 84. It died. Then it came back again in the Bay Area around 1991. But I was, again, it was more power moves out here. So it didn't really talk to me. And I was just more into the freestyle hip hop stuff. I was influenced by like Mop Top, Buddha Stretch, Loose Joint. And then like I said, when I saw tapes in around '96 of Flowmaster, Ken Swift, and Storm, and I saw that, oh, there's this thing called footwork. I started getting into the breaking, and that was like around '96, and ever since then, never stopped.
Yo.
And you have a tell them your IG, bro, so they can see all this other stuff that you do.
Yeah, my you can follow me at PROFO_FLGZ.
Beautiful, beautiful. Flow Master,
All right,
talk to
well,
him.
this is the hardest thing because I hate talking about myself, but I'm just gonna keep it short. I'm from Gaithersburg, Maryland. Started my dancing career with Mr. Wiggles. Well, I started my dancing career going to the clubs down in DC, but when Mr. Wiggles, PB Dance, and Crazy Lace came to judge a dance contest in Washington D.C., I went down there, won it, and then I talked to Mr. Wiggles and said, "Man, what do I got to do to get in?" And I got into Rock Steady, and then started traveling around the world. Then by traveling around the world, I came to LA. I loved LA so much. And then I just started dancing with different artists. And I can say this for a fact. Normally, I would never say this, but I'm going to say it now because I need to say it.
Say
I
it.
was the first B-boy of all times. And I'll challenge anybody that did 8 counts that started great. I
Uh-oh.
hands
Uh-oh.
down, nobody was doing it. People was talking shit about me when I was doing it, and then later
Damn.
they started doing it. But I was the first one that changed for b-boys to let them know that we can also do eights.
Damn.
Mm. I believe
Damn.
that you were like one of the first industry guys, in the
100%.
like
Yes.
in '98. I remember I saw you in it was either the Gap commercial or
Yep.
the
The Gap with
Monaco
Wade
or
and Little
or the
Caesar. Yep.
yeah.
Yep.
I was like, oh damn, and he
Ice
was
cold.
you were definitely the first from that
100%. No other b-boy.
late '90s. Yeah, no one
No
else.
other b-boy.
Then everyone else followed suit. So
Yes.
yeah.
So I can
Man.
finally humble and say that.
And so like for me, I was a journalist back then. I was rapping.
I
Our
remember that.
crew our crew was doing shows. Like, we opened up for Gangstar in their prime.
Ooh.
Onyx,
Ooh.
Brand Nubian in their prime. Like
Damn.
clubs getting shot up, people getting trampled. We was a part of the whole thing. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? It was wild,
Mhm. Yeah.
right? And I was writing for the Source and the rap pages at the same time. So it was a weird life. You know what I mean? It was a weird life. And I studied all of the elements. Like I loved all of the elements and I always have. I could never dance, right? But I could go watch everybody dance. I couldn't DJ. I mean, I could, but it was whack compared to, all the stuff that was popping off. So why would I do that when I could just go to DJ Disc's house? Why would I do that when I
Mhm.
could just kick it with Mixmaster Mike, who lived down the street and whatever? And so, a lot of the B-boy jams that Alex Aquino used to throw
Yep.
I used to host a lot of those when the ITF started. International Turntablist
Mhm.
Federation. All the b-boys would come out for those things, and I would be there hosting a lot, and I was covering some of it, and it was a beautiful thing for me, like from day one. And the the shadows of the impact of martial arts were always on the periphery, right? It wasn't just the idea that people were saying like b-boying and capoeira were one and the same or came from each other or whatever. It was the impact of Bruce Lee. It was the way sometimes dudes would dress in those like Bruce Lee shirts. You know what I mean? When they would do a routine or whatever. Um, it was, I think, that was the first those were the first kinds of martial arts things that I remember. And the second were when DJ Cupid and them used to make those Bionic Booger Break records, and these were scratch records. For people don't know, these were scratch records that DJs would use when they would battle, and sometimes they had kung fu clips in them, and they would like play it before they went against the DJ, or they'd end their set with it or whatever. And so to me, the MC came last in terms of martial arts and hip hop. You know what I mean? It started with the dancers. It was reflected through the DJs, and then graffiti artists too, right? Like they might add Bruce Lee to a piece, or they might have a Shaolin monk or a meditating dude with a long beard or whatever. And so this idea of martial arts and hip hop were always one and the same to me. Um, can I ask both of you? So like you both do different martial arts, am I correct? Like Profo, what styles do you train in, and what started you?
I started in when I was a kid. It was like Taekwondo, but I was like short lived. When I thought I was gonna be in martial arts versus dancing in my like when you met me when I was
Yeah. Yeah.
at with Kimball and them.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So, but I started actually with Wing Chun, and
Okay.
then gradually, then the second one was capoeira, and then Sultan, he convinced me like, yo, you could be combative with capoeira. I was like, what? No
Yeah.
way. And then he showed me, he's like, oh, you can. And then that kind of opened the door to like, exploring different things. Like I took judo before, and then and then I started getting into the eskrima a little bit. And then
Where did you take judo? Because the Bay
it
has a
was
lot
just
of
I
judo.
was city college. I was
Oh,
just in
really? Yeah, yeah,
college,
yeah,
and
yeah,
I
yeah.
was
I mean,
taking
we
a
got a
class. I
lot
was
of
like,
good
oh,
judo
it's
here, so
yeah.
yeah.
So I was just like, I'm gonna try it out. That was fun. And then within recently, my boy Greg, who
Yeah.
used to be with Sultan too. He got into Muay Thai like about 14 years ago, 15 years ago, and then that's when things changed even for me because of the training. Like, oh, this is different.
Mm,
This is real
mm,
contact.
mm.
With Wing Chun, it was like slapping, and it's like okay, but it's not a real fight,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
Like it's
yeah,
just like
yeah,
your point, right? Or you're just like, oh, I got you, but you don't really feel it like boxing or Muay Thai, right? Like you
yeah.
feel that shit. Like when you get punched in the face, you're like, oh
For
shit,
real.
right? And you can't do all the blocks. You think you're Bruce Lee. It's like it's not happening. So like that's of recently, and I use it more as a training. Like I haven't sparred in a long time or anything like that. But I use it more as just stamina training because to me that's like one of the harshest like regimens out there.
Totally, totally. And Flowmaster, talk to me about your journey in martial arts, because it's crazy. I don't know if you remember this, but the last time I saw you was a really long time ago. It
Mhm.
was at a b-boy thing here. I didn't know you trained. We started talking. You started talking to me about footlocks and everything, and it was so cool.
Mhm.
I really remember that day as like a standout day for me, being super juiced because I was a blue belt, I think, in jujitsu at that time. Um, talk to me about your general journey though, because I know you do a lot.
Yeah. Well, I started out doing kung fu at first.
Oh wow.
Shaolin Kung Fu, and then I started doing Taekwondo and karate because my mentor, well, not my mentor, but somebody that I really looked up to, that Ernie Ray Jr. I see
Mhm.
these
Yeah,
shows. He was
Yeah.
the reason why I stopped doing kung fu. I was like, "Fuck you, kung fu! I'm
I'm
doing
out.
karate,
Word.
taekwondo," because I love this Ernie Ray Jr. man. Like he was my hero. Like I was like, I
Come
would do
on.
anything. And a long story short, we are good friends now. We train and all that.
Yeah.
That's
But
beautiful.
Yeah.
after after that, I got into jujitsu. That's when the UFC came and Sugar Pop. We
Yep.
started doing the show called
Yeah.
Manhattan and Vegas, and Sugar Pop was beating us all up, and Mr. Freeze was rolling me up, and I'm like, wait a minute. I know Taekwondo, but when they grab me, I'm fucked. So I
You were
started
done.
jujitsu, and then after jujitsu, I got into um, what is that French?
Savat?
Savat.
Yes, I started doing Savat kickboxing. Then from Savat, I started wrestling, and from wrestling, I went to Muay Thai, and then from Muay Thai now straight boxing.
So let me ask you, when you were doing wrestling, what were you doing? Folk style, like freestyle, like Becco?
I don't, man. I didn't even know any. I didn't know that
You
they
were just getting
had
in.
different styles. I just went into the high school because where I lived at, the high school kids was all wrestling. So the
Yeah.
coach was so amazed of who I was that he was like, "Yo, man, you're doing MMA. You're training with Anderson Silva, Jeremy
That's fresh.
Horn, Matt Hughes, all the big names." So he seen me walking in the corners with all them.
Yeah, yeah,
He's
yeah.
like,
He
"Man,
knew
you
you
gotta
was
come
real.
to school." Yeah. So he was like a fan of mine, and I just started training with the high school kids. And I don't know if
That
it
is
was folk or freestyle. I ain't know nothing about that. I just wrestled. I don't, man. I don't know the difference.
just getting in.
I just
I
get
mean,
where I fit in,
I
baby.
think sometimes that's better than knowing. And I know that might sound crazy, but
No.
I mean it because it's about the sincerity and the personal clarity. Like I'm doing this for me. I'm
Mhm.
doing this for my growth. I'm doing this for my passion. This is a way that I'm expressing myself. And you are a brown belt in jiu-jitsu right now?
Yes, sir.
Wow.
Yes.
And what lineage are you in right now? Like you train with so many cool people. I'm just
Yeah.
asking because I'm curious.
Well, the thing is my black ass, I can't set still because Eric Paulson, which is my teacher now, the one who gave me the belt.
The legend.
Yes, Eric Paulson, the original footlock guy before
Come on, man.
everybody
Come
else.
on, man.
Yeah, yeah. But Eric wants me to stay in jujitsu, but I just like punching people when I grapple. I like MMA. I don't know, for some reason I love jujitsu. I will never shit on jujitsu because I'm a brown belt. But for
Yeah.
some reason I want to, when I can't get an arm bar, I want to punch you in your face. If I
Yeah.
can't get a triangle choke, I want an elbow in your face. Like
Yeah, yeah.
I want to do damage to you. So I'm trying to stay focused because I really need to get my jujitsu better. Because sometimes MMA, you give up positions and you do stupid shit that can get you in trouble.
Isn't it interesting about that in regards to jujitsu and MMA that like to someone who just watches it, they think it's the same thing. Like what you do in the gi is what you do in a cage, and like you can't afford it. You know what I mean? You can't. You can't. You'll get caught slipping in either direction. Um Now, before I forget, because this is hitting me right now, I just have to ask. You trained with Usher in jujitsu? I need
I,
clarity.
I had a
Inquiring
feeling you
minds
was gonna
want to
say something.
know.
So Usher, we train a little bit. Me and Usher trained a little bit. We really trained the most is boxing. We trained
Okay.
a box when he was getting ready for Hands of Stone when he had to play Sugar Ray Leonard. We trained so much. We
Right.
didn't do a lot of jujitsu because the man got to go perform on stage.
Of course.
So
Right.
you end up
You
jujitsu,
can't knee bar him.
finger, get an arm bar or something pop. There go the money. I'm going home and no one's getting
Yeah.
paid. So we kind of stayed away from the jujitsu. But far as boxing, we did a lot of boxing. So we didn't do a lot of jujitsu.
Somebody said he was a purple belt.
That nigga ain't no purple. Stop listening to people, man. People selling wolf tickets, man. People, the man don't know jujitsu. He did a couple stuff. He does not know jujitsu. I'm here to tell you. I've been that man from the beginning of his career. He ain't no purple belt.
You heard it here first.
Yeah, you heard it here first. He is not no purple belt.
Okay.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Now, Profo, how
Yeah.
long did you? Now, here's the deal. This is one thing that a lot of people don't know, except Profo knows. I was horrible at eskrima. I love
Word.
it, but I was horrible at it,
Yeah.
and I couldn't get better, and that's why I went to jujitsu. Quite frankly, honestly, I went to Jamie's house, and he was like, "Look, man, they just tackle each other." I'm like, I can
I
tackle.
could,
I was like,
I could do that.
I can tackle, right? How far did you get? So we both studied under this guy named Sultanuddin.
Mhm.
He was such a factor in spreading eskrima during that part of the 90s. I
Oh
feel like
yeah.
he was.
Oh
I
yeah.
I don't know who would be number 2 in the Bay at that time. I just don't. I don't know.
No, there was no one.
Right.
If I could recall, there was no one at the time.
Right.
No one. Yeah.
Yeah. And so this black dude from Modesto, he does the De Cuerdes style. He was a student under Angel Cabales.
Mhm.
How far did you get in Eskrima, and were there other blade styles you studied? I'm just curious. This is me just
No,
thinking.
I was. I mean, people tried to teach our niece, which was just
Yeah.
the Sinewali. It was like you're circling 8 with the sticks. I got to 12 angles. Each count. I think I got to like.
Inside and outside?
Yeah.
Savage.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. No, no.
Wow.
Yeah, I got that far, and then the dancing took over.
Right.
Like
It's like, and
honestly,
now I'm out.
and
Yeah.
that's that. Then the dancing took over, man. It was like I was getting actually okay at it. Um, um, Glide still trains with Jamie to this day. You know what I mean? And then
Yeah, they
Angel's
do.
son, yeah, Angel's son came through a few times. Elric and his brother and Franz came through. So I still hear about it, right? Like I still
Wow.
hear about it, but like I got to that point, and I think it's the thing is that the difference is because it's super mathematical. It's based
Yeah.
on the angle of attack versus just like a style, right? So it's like
Mm.
it's just adapting and feeling out, right? So that's why I liked it because it was like really practical. It was similar to Wing Chun, but just more movements and the way that it's kind of crazy how like Kabbalah is really he gave this curriculum like a stepping ladder until you got to a certain point where it's like
Right.
real free flow. It was just like
Right.
it's very stiff and you do this and then you do this and there's like if there's 12 angles of attack and there's 4 counters for each angle, that's a lot of movements, right?
Woo.
But as Sultan would say, it's like, but you those angles of attack can come from when you're on your back, you're on your head. They're
Yeah.
still coming from the same angles. So
That's
that's what
true.
was kind of cool with the mathematics of it, right? So
Yeah.
and it's still there. I mean, you could see it in Hollywood, right? People use it like even in Dune, they're using like knife fighting, which
It's
is based on
true.
the Filipino martial arts. You know what I'm
It's
saying?
true.
So
It's huge, man. It's
like,
huge.
yeah,
The
yeah,
impact
like,
is huge. And
yeah.
no, man, I really want to thank you for sharing that. So let's get into a few things. Um, there's a guy named Mark Soren. I'm gonna pull him up, and he writes a lot about capoeira and um hip hop and specifically like the impact of capoeira on b-boying and stuff like that.
Okay.
And I have to say, I like his work because he's pulling up like old articles. Like he's going, this dude's pulling up remember they used to call it microfiche. You know what I'm saying? The little old, little,
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah,
like,
yeah, yeah.
dude, he's going into the old stuff
Right.
to pull
Yeah.
off and he's like, yo, so there's this article from this era, whatever, whatever. So he put this thing up on March 10th, kind of explaining like how he's just been, pushing like, come on, computer, don't start set tripping on me right now. All right.
It's such
So
a banana.
don't start set tripping on me. So I'm gonna read 5 points that he makes in this most recent post. Okay. And then I'm just gonna ask you your thoughts on it in general. One, for Richie Colon, right? That's Crazy Legs, right? Jalen Vieira seemed to say in one interview that you had taken capoeira classes with him. Is that true? And if so, where and when? If not, have you ever met him? And he's tagging these people. He's tagging them when he says their name. He's not just for Ken Swift. There's an interview that Mary Fogarty did with you and Eric Pellerin a few years ago, and you shared some of your memories of seeing capoeira when you were a kid. Can you say more about that kid, Kevin, you mentioned? Was it Kevin Winnick? You said he did capoeira and was also a quote unquote dancer. Did you mean that he was a b boy? For George Fable Pabon in Africa Islam, Ruza Blue booked a capoeira troupe at the Roxy in June 1983. Fable remembers the leader being named Amani, but can you tell us anything more? What did the other b boys think? Then he asked Fab Five Freddy. Keith Haring met Jalon Vieira. That's the guy that he first asked Legs about at his dance studio at the Great Jones Street around 1979, and he was fascinated by capoeira from then on. Do you remember Keith talking about b-boys and capoeira? Did he ever meet up with Lower Mill Machado at SOBs, which is just around the corner? Then he asks a second question. Um, he's talking about anybody from the crew Magnificent Force, Stefan Clemente,
That's Wiggles. Yeah.
Fable, and Richard Fastbreak Williams. You did a European tour with famous Brazilian Berimbau player Nana Vasconcelos. Both
He's
he
getting,
and your
he's thorough,
manager,
man. He's thorough.
both
He's
he and
thorough.
your manager choreographer Julie Fraud seemed to think that there was a connection between breaking and capoeira. Did they talk about it? Also, you performed with Nana Vasconcelos at SOBs. Did you meet Laura Mill Machado there? Okay. Now, I've always loved a discussion around b-boying and capoeira and to what degree they were or were not connected. And I've never really cared that much, meaning like as a historian, I care just because I want to know the truth. But like I don't need it to be capoeira or I don't need it to not, right? But like years ago at one of the b-boy summits, I was there. Popmaster Fable was there, Legs was there. I want to say Ken Swift was there. And in one of my talks earlier, I had mentioned this connection. And and later in the day, one of them got up and said, "We didn't take capoeira. We didn't know capoeira. We couldn't afford those lessons." Right. And so my response and this was like 1990, maybe 91. I guess it was a long time ago. So like the thing I'm remembering in fragments. What I remember saying though was like, okay, but like, even though you guys are the OGs, you had OGs. And what I'm trying to discuss is that you can't prove that your OGs were not influenced by capoeira. And that's all I'm saying. That the guys that taught you may have been influenced by capoeira, may have moved like capoeiristas, and not even said this comes from capoeira because they're just showing you what they do, and that's the influence. What are your perspectives, and why do you think people hold on to it so tight? Either of you can go
Well,
first.
I, I,
you go ahead.
honestly, I just listen.
Make
I,
it plain.
I,
We need it to be plain.
yeah, this is my opinion. I loved capoeira because it was a martial arts. So I did it more for martial arts, but I see how they might think that capoeira is like breaking because of stuff that they do on the floor. But if you actually look at it, they don't do no circles. They don't do no dancing. They don't do no top rock. When we went to Brazil, I think it was 1996 or 97 with seven gyms, or we went with Ghetto Rizno, but seven gyms was the one. We had different capoeira people come and we all got in a circle. And if you look at that video, go find that video. We don't look
Mhm.
like it, nothing like them. We
I
had
actually love
certain
that. That's a
spinning
dope.
moves, but we don't look nothing like it. And I don't know how they keep saying that breaking came for capoeira. I just really don't understand. I don't.
I
I,
mean,
yeah.
okay,
Mhm.
go ahead, Profo. Talk to him.
Well, I mean, okay, so here's the thing, like, and this is like something that like I'm involved with two individuals named Sir Norin Rad and Pluto 7. If you want to
Pluto!
talk, yeah, if you want to talk history and them talking to like 50 two guys from Bronxdale, five guys from the West Bronx, some of the guys like track 2 and they try to get these stories all together. And they have actually gotten to the point where they're finding out who's who because of the just hearing all the stories and summing up all the information, because some of them might be lying, some of them might be not, and
Yeah.
getting down to who created what
Who
moves.
created what? Yeah.
Yeah, it's not, and it's like none of them is from capoeira. Mostly it's from accident or trying to battle somebody.
Right. And just going hard and coming off with
So,
something.
like, like the guy who made up chair freeze is a guy named Robbie Robb. And track 2, confirms this. And it was just kind of not like the chair freeze we know as a b-boy in his head. He just put his arm like this to stop
Yeah.
his footwork. And from that, people copied that. Then it started morphing into something.
Boom. Yeah. The
And then
evolution.
after that, they morphed into something else, because once you saw a guy do it, you're not trying to bite, you're trying to flip it. I want to beat that. So it's an evolution within that own area, really, even in the
Right.
neighborhoods of them exploring and battling. So again, I go back to Bruce Lee saying, like, he doesn't believe in when he says, "I don't believe in styles because until we grow another arm, we create another style." Now, in context, it is because of the music, just like capoeira. They have a berimbau, they have the congos. There's a certain rhythm with house music. If you ask a layman if they saw how like Orb do house dancing, where he's gonna do a turtle and he's gonna do some tops and then a handstand, they're gonna think he's a b-boy, but he's house dancing.
Yeah.
It's just the beat makes him move different, even though there's these similar moves. Do you know what I'm saying? If you
I
see an
totally
all
get it.
styles guy, right, dancing to some like Kendrick Lamar and he does a
Yeah.
handstand, they're gonna think, oh, that's breaking. Let's no, it's the music that's changing the context.
Right. The context of the movement is always going to be
Because
driven
if I
by the
put a
drum.
berimbau and see a kung fu guy, you're gonna think that's capoeira.
Yeah, that's hella real.
They do both butterfly twists, you think, but they're no, the ones that are practitioners are gonna know the difference. Do you know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah. If
Right.
anything, most of those guys were more copying kung fu movies from 42nd Street. You know what I mean? Like,
They wasn't
Well,
doing no
yeah.
breaking.
Flowmaster, what you got to say on that?
No, I said no. They definitely wasn't doing no breaking. They definitely wasn't doing what they claimed that breaking took it from because they don't look nothing
Yeah.
like it. They might do a spin and turn around, but a lot of stuff was a flying kicks and all that
That's
shit.
true
You
with the
mhm,
heels.
you
Throwing the
didn't
mhm,
heels
you
actually.
didn't see nobody really do that.
Yeah,
mhm.
that's hella real. That's a really good point.
I
Now,
mean, if you look at just kung fu, tap dancing, capoeira, they all have that coffee grinder sweep move.
Yes,
That's
yes,
mm,
universal.
known thing. Yeah, yeah.
that's a good
That's
point.
universal. Like no matter what, even Russian Cossack dancers did that.
Yeah,
Like,
that's hella real.
Frosty Freeze took a lot of his style from kung fu movies.
yeah.
Yeah.
Frosty Freeze loved kung fu movies, so you look at his breaking style. A lot of it is from kung fu movies.
Yeah.
So now let's thank you for all of that, by the way. I love this conversation. It's out of the next thing I want to talk about is just some nerd out shit for me. Um it's this is personal psychological gratification. That's all that's happening right now. So here's the deal, guys. You know, when the Bruce Lee Museum exhibit was happening at the Chinese Historical Society in San Francisco, there was this movie, Rhythm of the Dragon. I got invited to be a part of it, ended up helping to be one of the producers of it. Um Profo's in it, and it's at the museum right now. It's at the museum right now. Bruce Lee did cha cha. He was a cha cha dancer, and we were able to interview one of his dance partners, a woman named Rosie Lowe, who was a ballerina by trade. Incredible, incredible woman. And her references about Bruce and the way that he danced were really just mind blowing. Now, what a lot of other people don't know is that Miyamoto Musashi, the guy that wrote the Book of Five Rings, there's so many things about him. Like if you've seen the Vagabond cartoon, like that whole, manga series is based on his life, whatever. The real life Miyamoto Musashi was a what I probably think I say it wrong. It's NOH, no dancing. It's a style of theatrical dance that comes out of Japan. It's stage dancing. So apparently he was a master dancer to the point where he taught his adopted son all the things he knew about no. And then when his son needed a job, he wrote a letter to like one of the shogun and was like, look, this is my adopted son. With the sword, he's not going to help you very much, but he is an incredible dancer and you should let him be a part of your court, whatever. And he got on. And I was like, yo, man, no one has ever discussed how this self taught samurai found the time to become a dance master. Now, this made the Book of Five Rings that much more discernible because he's got fire, water, air, earth, and the void. And in each one, he talks about rhythm. And so I'm really blown away by this beautiful connection between dancing and martial arts. Um, I want to know both of your personal opinions about the cross pollination between the two and how either of them feed your spirit when you're doing it or watching it. Uh, Flowmaster, we'll start with
Oh,
you.
this is easy work because this is what made me. If it wasn't for martial arts shaped me to have humility. It teaches me to not be cocky, not like, always knowing that somebody's out there better than you. Somebody's always going out there to whip your ass. Always be disciplined. Always respect different art forms. And then number one thing that people always used to say about me is, how can you battle somebody and lose and don't get upset? Because it's a competition. Martial art teaches you, once you lose, you go back, you practice, get better, and come back and get his ass again. You don't need to
Yeah.
fight nobody. You don't need to go. Like, if you ever heard anything about Flowmaster fighting anybody, and I've been in this shit for years, and you've never seen me lose my cool, because martial arts taught me that. Now, if I didn't have that, then I probably would have punched a couple people in the face. But
Yeah.
I probably only got, out of all the years that I've been training, dancing, I only probably got it almost 2 fights, and that's K Mail. Almost smacked the shit out of him, and Super Dave from the Step Fiends. I kicked him in the chest, and only
You
reason why
kicked Super Dave in the
yes,
chest?
I only kicked him in the chest because he was kept jumping in the circle while I'm dancing, and I'm doing flips and shit, and you're jumping in the circle. So now you're putting
You're
my life
interrupting.
in danger. So I let him do it twice. When he did it the third time, he got the foot. But that's
Not
it.
the foot.
Oh, he got the foot. I did a front flip and kicked him in his chest.
Hey, do you remember that old thing was like boot to the head? You
Yeah.
remember that? My boy did the
but
boot to the head.
but
That's old
martial
school.
arts
That's
taught
the
me that.
audio thing.
Yeah, mother's boot to the head, boot to the head,
Boot to the head.
boot to the head. But yeah, but that I really think martial arts for me to not being a hothead, 100%.
Wow. Profo, talk to him.
I think with martial arts, it's just like it's more the discipline. Just approach it again, and then being humble to it. Like, instead of just going, I don't got it, throw it away.
Yeah.
You just kind of go, okay. You tend to analyze. Okay, wait, what did I do? You tend to analyze. Okay, how can I have done this better? And then, especially if you're working with a partner and you're open like that, they could actually help coach you through. Well, maybe your leg is here, maybe your arm is here.
Mm,
So you have this like kind of like reflection to get better instead of just like, and analyze. To me, that's, because it's all about technique, right? That's not the art part. We're like, this is what Sultan used to say. It was like, we're martial scientists before we're martial artists,
yeah,
right?
that makes
We're in
sense.
this, we're in the lab trying to figure it out. And then when we're like, the music's out there or you're sparring, that's where you have to
Mm-hmm.
get free, because you can't be in your mind thinking this technique is like, you just have to flow at this point, right?
That's hella
You let it
real.
go. You let it go, right? You let it go. You know what I'm saying? Just like with the music, just like when you're rolling, just like when you're sparring, you know? So it's the
That's really
scientist before
powerful.
the artist.
And
That's
let
really
me add
powerful.
something else. So you remember Boogeyman and Geo?
Yes.
They used
10th
to fight
planet.
all the time in jail.
Yeah.
They used
Yeah,
to
that's
fight. They
true.
was fighting all the time. They learned jujitsu. No more fighting. The shit calmed down. Even if people got in their face and didn't know that they was black belts and they can roll your ass up. The martial arts taught them to
That's hella deep. Oh
stay
my
calm.
god.
That's real. They always used to get to
They
fights.
always
Like,
used to
that's
fight
real.
every time they
That's
fight.
yeah,
I'm
yeah.
like, they're fighting
Yeah, that's
again.
real. Yeah, that's real. That's real. That's real. I forgot
Damn.
about that, but
Yeah,
that's
they
true.
used to
That's
fight
real.
all the time. And martial
Yeah,
arts
yeah,
with
yeah, yeah.
jiu-jitsu helped
Yep.
them be like, we don't need
Yeah.
to do that because we can kill you. No problem. And we will
Yep.
go to jail.
That's so crazy.
Yeah.
That's so crazy. Now, do both of you know Chris Woon? Do you know him? Do you know who Chris Woon is?
Yeah,
Because
that's my
he did
boy.
a thing on Geo
Yeah.
and them back in the day. He told me about them. He was like, "Oh, there's these dudes from 10th Planet that are also b-boys," and I was like, "What?" I still ain't never met them, but that's just crazy and beautiful. Like, I love stuff like that. You know what I mean? Also, for those that don't know, Chris Woon made the film Among B-Boys, which talks about the Hmong b-boy scene and how it started and how it grew. And I just love stuff like this. You know what I mean? I really do. I think that's on YouTube. Is Among B-Boys on YouTube?
I think so. Yeah, I think
Yeah,
so.
if you've
I
never seen it, everybody checking it out, please go check it out. Now a question I have for both of you is this. Have you ever found a time that martial art training was influencing your dance, or when dance was influencing your martial art? Because another person who I neglected to mention with this dance thing is Muhammad Ali, right? I mean, like, if anybody was dancing in the ring with those hands, right? So, like, can you talk about personal experiences where you saw or experienced the transfer within yourself or maybe even in others?
Want me to
Profo, you can
go?
go.
Okay, I'll go first. Yeah, so like I said, so we were talking about capoeira first. Yeah, but the thing, like I said, I started as a freestyle hip hop dancer, right? And it was the capoeira training that, oh, I can handstand now. Oh, I'm working on these bridges. Oh, I
Mm,
could kind of back handspring better now. And so that's what got me into like, okay, that made me want to, like I said, when I saw Flo and Kenny, I said, that made me want to break because like, well, I'm strong enough to do this other stuff through the conditioning of capoeira to start trying to break, trying to do,
yeah,
trying to do some of this stuff. So that's how like the art influenced the dance part, right? Because I had no interest before. I was like, that doesn't look like, back then to me, it didn't look like dancing. It's just people doing gymnastics. And here I
yeah.
am, 50, trying to do all the power moves now. But, but that was the thing that transferred. It was that. And like I said, if it wasn't for getting into breaking, I probably would still be into martial arts, like fully into
Yeah,
martial arts doing that. So that's how like the art influenced the dance for me.
powerful.
And for me, I'm gonna be honest, you know, I'm a biter. I bit all the Jackie Chan shit. I'm not gonna lie, because when I started breaking, I started, when I saw Ken Swift, he was my hero. And I
Yeah,
wanted to be him. And I didn't understand the whole meaning of biting and all that. So I tried to dress like Ken Swift. I used to dance like
yeah,
Ken Swift. I used to do Ken Swift move before Ken Swift did his move. He used to get pissed off. And finally, Leg set me down, was like, listen, in hip hop, we don't do that. We don't take other people's stuff. We show you your
mm,
foundation and you make your own thing. So I had to set, and I'm like, what do I have that's different? I'm like, my martial arts. That's why you started seeing me throwing my kicks and doing these crazy kicks
right.
and my break-ins, because Ken Swift don't do that. So it's like, let me stop doing his shit, keep my basic, but add kicks. Now, this is where martial arts kicked in again. When I had to battle K Mail had all these flips, all these twists, and I'm like, how do I beat him?
How do
Once
you
again,
answer it?
let me go steal shit from Jackie Chan. Saw Jackie Chan do all kinds of flips, jumping, twisting,
Yeah,
cracking the shit, and you saw that to be what somewhere me and Wicked battle K Mail. I was doing all that shit. That's all from Jackie Chan. My I created my own flavor by my martial arts. It was my martial arts that made me start battling and getting better and breaking and creating my flavor and not being somebody else.
off the chain. Now, my favorite Jackie Chan movie is a coin toss between Rumble in the Bronx and Super Cop. What are
Okay.
yours? What are yours?
Drunken Master is all the shit I stole. Drunken Master.
Drunken Master.
That Drunken Master, bro, hands down.
That
I
was
watched
ice
that man.
cold.
I stole so much shit from Jackie Chan. I owe him money. I owe Jackie Chan money. I do. I owe that man some money.
Wow. Man, this is why I love these conversations, bro. Man, and listen, y'all who are viewing and listening, watching, whatever, like, you don't understand how long ago I had this idea to talk with these dudes on this show. Then I got sick. Then I thought I was better, got sick again, and they were patient enough to wait so we could have this whole thing. And I'm so juiced. Let me ask you, a lot of times, and I'm speaking to both of you because I'm also someone who writes about hip hop a lot and lectured at different universities or whatever. Um when it comes to books about hip hop, I always feel like the b-boy gets the short end of the stick because it just tends to be on rap, right? Or sometimes the DJ. But there is a book by Dr. Joseph Sloss called Foundation. He wrote a lot about martial arts in that book. He's from the East Coast. He's really cool with Fable, and me and Schloss been cool for many years. And he actually does dance. I think that's one of the things that separates Schloss apart from a lot of other people who write about hip hop specifically, but dance super specifically, is that he does dance. He will get in a cipher. He will do things. Um, have either of you read that book? Because I thought that there was a whole section on martial arts in there that I found really exciting. Um, and just if you haven't read it, are there any books that you think that are good when it comes to b-boying because there's so much contentious history? I'm just curious.
For me, to me, this is my opinion.
Yeah.
I don't think nothing's better than hands-on and seeing it in real life and living it and being around it more than reading a book, because people change shit up. There's so much shit that
Yeah.
people's throwing that has nothing to do with hip hop, and people who's not even in hip hop just using hip hop. So to
It's
me,
true.
I like being more hands on and being around the environment to learn
Yeah.
hip hop more. To me,
Yeah.
than a book.
No,
That's just my opinion.
that's fair. That's fair.
Midas came out with a book called Birth of Breaking, I think.
Okay.
It came out maybe 3 years ago. So
Oh,
there's
okay.
that one. And then it's not a book about breaking, but Rob Swift's book, The Birth of Hip Hop, like
Yo, I need to get that.
that so I got both books right now. I
I need
haven't
to
read it,
get
but
that.
I think that one he's like as a DJ, but still coming from that perspective of mentioning the B Boy crews. You know what I'm saying? Mentioning TBB, mentioning Star Child of Rock, mentioning Zulu Kings. Like, and he's a DJ, so I appreciate that. And he's talking
Yo.
about the whole Avenue meeting, where I think Black Benji died, and that's what brought all the gangs together. And like,
Yep.
you know, uh, Disco King Mario was there, and Bambaataa was there.
Yeah.
So this was like the thing that kind of start off the whole, throwing, parties and jams to kind of like, all right, like we're gonna have peace right now, and kind of start the era of just the whole park jam thing. So that's to me, that's like it mentions breaking in it. I think the another book that's not about breaking, but it's a hip hop book. Joe Conz was born in the Bronx. It
Yeah.
mentions like battles in there.
Yeah.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah.
Like it mentions like b-boy battles in there. Like someone, I forgot who's calling out Spy, but it was like, oh, there was something about that. So I think that's another one. But there's no book. Oh, just The Birth of Breaking with Midas is the only
Midas.
book
Okay.
that's out there. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Which is a shame, but still.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
But if anything, the thing that we always go to, I think, as far as it's not a book, but the documentary Fresh as Kids. I think till
Fresh
this
as
day,
kids
Documentary is
forever.
shit.
it's
Documentary
still
is shit.
like timeless, and that came out like 23 years ago at this
Freshest
point.
kids
Freshest Points is still
forever.
the best one. Like,
Everybody go on YouTube and pull that up. Go
yeah,
gaffle the
yeah,
bootleg from wherever you can find it
yeah,
because it is just pure gems. I mean, it's
yeah.
pure gems.
You know who
You know,
directed that, right? You know who put that together?
that was QD3, right?
Yeah, QD3, Quincy
Yeah.
Jones's son. That's
Yeah.
crazy. Yeah.
No, that was an incredible piece of
Best
work.
one still. It's been 20 years. Still, that's the best one. Like,
Yeah. Incredible.
mm.
Absolutely incredible. Um, well, in closing, wait a minute. Profo, you never said what your favorite Jackie Chan movies were.
Oh, you already said it. Well, I like Drunken Master 1 and 2.
Yeah.
Like, there's plenty. Like, that's why when he said it, I was like, what am I going to
He's
say?
like,
Like,
I gotta go with it.
I mean, Snake and Eagle. No, but but there's the comedy in it. And even the fact that it's Wu Ping who did The Matrix, right? Like,
Yeah.
there's a rhythm to his. Like there's a rhythm. Oh, okay. Here's the one that's not Jackie Chan, but Wu Ping did it. I think it's called Drunken Tai Chi with Donnie Yen, and he actually
Really?
breaks in it. Donnie Yen breaks in it.
Really? I gotta
Donnie
go
Yen was
see
a
it.
b-boy. He was, even though he's from Hong Kong, I believe he studied in Boston in the
What?
80s. So I think that's where he picked up the breaking.
That's off the chain. Oh
And
my
then like Wu
god, I'm
Ping was like,
already a
put that
fan of
in
that
there.
dude.
Just yeah, no, look it up on YouTube. Look at Donnie Yen breakdance, and then you'll find it. Like he's popping, he's doing like sweeps and all. Yeah, he's breaking.
You know, he is allegedly doing a movie as the blind character from John Wick. We're
Yeah.
supposed to be doing a whole movie, bro.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
can't wait. I can't
You
wait.
gotta put that clip of Donnie Yen breaking. You'll find it. It's easy to find.
That's off the chain, man. That's off the chain. So I didn't want to keep y'all in his Flowmaster's birthday, so I don't want to keep y'all any longer, you know what I'm saying? But I really am grateful to you for making this time, bro. Um what are you working on right now in dance, and what are you working on right now in martial arts? What's your focus specific? Is there anything specifically you're focused on?
For me, my dance for martial arts is I'm about to have another boxing match because the last boxing match that I just had, I didn't train for it. I got sick. I dehydrated myself. I didn't eat, and I didn't do well. So now I'm training at a school called Jack Rabbits, and I'm training with Anderson Silva. I'm training for about 3 months, and then I'm gonna get in there and have one fight, do it the right way. To do it the right way, to box
Yo,
one
yo, Flo, that was your
time
first
before
boxing
I
match?
huh?
That was your first boxing match?
That was
Like,
my first
very
boxing
just
match ever.
what the? So
Dude,
this is why I have to give you props, man. You're like just turned 53, and you're like, let me try something
Let
totally
me just
new.
get in the ring real quick and see what
Like,
pops
dude, I
off.
don't know how many people do that, and that's why, like, I admire you, man. Like, your
Bro,
inspiration because
can't do nothing but
that's
sleep.
like, you know how many people say you hear this all the time, like,
yeah,
oh, well, you're so in shape, like, I can't
yeah,
believe, like, and
yeah.
it's like, well, you train,
I
and
train.
then I want to try, and then at the same time, everyone's afraid of like, well, I don't want to look stupid, like, I don't want to
Bro,
lose, like,
Hey,
dude, like,
part of the journey.
that's what I'm saying.
Part of the
That's what
journey.
I'm saying. That's why I'm like, yo, I was like, this is your first match? Because I know you've been
Yeah.
doing it forever.
No,
But
I've been doing jujitsu and all that, but never a boxing match. Remember, boxing is the last thing I'm learning. So I want
right.
to go in there and see how well that I'm
and
because
you've done
I'm
more times
training.
like a different rhythm, right? Like a different
Dude,
rhythm.
it was so man. I was like, if I didn't have footwork, that guy would have took my head off. I'm glad my foot was moving, but I didn't spar. I didn't do nothing. Like somebody said, Flo, you just rolled out of bed. I was like, hey, today I'm gonna go ahead and get in the competition and box today. and honestly, I did that. I'm like, I would never do that shit again because it's a reason why they say we don't play boxing. You do not
Mm,
play boxing. They will
mm,
push you. You have to train. So I want to
yeah.
Yeah.
train to see how well I can really do.
And
Yeah,
that's what
I
I'm
did
talking
that.
about.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah. And then far as dance, Usher, he called me tonight. He made me feel amazing today because he called me and say happy birthday, Flo. But he has a new artist that he's working with and he wants to learn some locking. So we got to get him because no artists have touched locking besides Michael Jackson. And then also
Mm.
he pushed that away. No one has
That's
touched
real.
locking. Nobody.
That's real. That's real.
So if God
Man,
willing, get this kid locking.
that's dope. That's dope.
Yeah.
So Profo, what about you? What are you focused on in terms of your martial arts or
Not so much
dance? There may
martial
not be a
arts.
martial art part, and that's fine too.
Yeah,
I don't want you to I
yeah.
don't want you to act like there is if there isn't. You feel
No,
me?
I mean, if anything, like I said, I took from martial arts is the training part, working the body. Like that's one thing that I didn't do. Even when I was doing capoeira and stuff like that, it wasn't until Glide got into Muay Thai and then put me under the ringer of training
Yeah.
like that. Like what Flo's talking about, like it's not just doing the moves, it's like working on your, your gas tank, right? Your
Mm-hmm.
breathing. I
Mm-hmm.
never discovered that until I started doing that. So when I train for like anything, I know I'm a month out. Like I can't just, I'm gonna like I need the gas tank good, right? I gotta do all that skipping rope, everything I hate to do, but I do it
Yeah.
to do what I'm doing now, right? So I could dance and I still compete and it's fun. It's not like, oh, well, the judges and I need to get past. I don't care. I'm just happy. I'm about to turn 51 in 4 months. Like I'm just happy to do a front flip still, guys. Like I'm happy to do. I want to learn how to flare 90 and stuff like that. I'm happy to be here, and that's actually getting more work. So like 2026, I'm starting to travel again. Like I just was in Holland, Japan, and then now I'm heading out to Toronto this weekend
That's
to judge,
beautiful.
and I'm gonna compete at the small event, whatever. Like you know what I
It
mean?
doesn't
It's just
matter.
it's
Just be
fun.
down.
Yeah, and so I'm inspiring the younger ones. If like Flo's inspiring me, I want everyone that's like 39, like I'm old, I can't do this no more. Like
Nah, like get
bullshit,
down, homie.
like
Get
bullshit.
down.
You know what I mean?
Nah,
Bullshit.
it's
You could do
dope.
it. If I don't say all around my ass, bro. You know what I
Uh,
mean? Like Flo's older than me. Like that's the only one. Like you know what I mean? At an event, like if I see him, like he's probably the only other ones that's older than me versus the other OGs. You know what I'm saying? So that's all I'm looking forward to is like actually like being out there and kind of like breaking bread with the young ones. You know?
no, I love this, man. This is a really dope thing. I really appreciate both y'all. Um, we'll have to do this again, right? Because there's so much that we can talk about, right? But I just want to thank you guys for making time to get on Bishop Chronicles and share your wisdom. Let everybody know where to find you at real quick before we go, please.
Well, mine is Flomaster73 on Instagram. Don't put no W in Flow. It's just FLO and then Master 73.
All right.
Let's
And you can
go.
and you can find me on Instagram PROFO_FLGZ.
Perfect, man. Well, thank you guys. Yo, Bishop Chronicle fam, you know what it is. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm gonna always bring the realest G's to break it down as it should be broken. So hit them up, give them dudes a follow up with them on anything dealing with martial arts, anything dealing with hip hop dance, and they will give you the holy grail because they hold on to it tight. All right. Y'all stay blessed. Thank you so much. And we'll see you soon.
Peace
Peace.
out, guys.